Two 14-year-old boys accused of attempted murder granted bail. A 26-year-old gets the keys to his own home. The Attorney General setting the record straight that the Davis administration draft bill to criminalize marital rape is not an attack on marriage. And the Sexual Offenses Amendment legislation 2022 getting mixed reviews. This is Global Impact News for Friday, the 16th of September, 2022. Good afternoon. I'm Shelley Lewis. Two 14-year-old students accused of the attempted murder of another student released on bail. The two teens getting bail in the amount of $6,000 each after appearing before Justice Bernard Turner on an emergency application yesterday. The two minors were initially remanded to the Simpson Penn School for Boys on Monday, September 12, after being charged with the offense. The charges stemming from a stabbing of another student at the D.W. Davis School on Monday, September 5th. The two teens expected back in the juvenile court in December for their cases to be fast-tracked to the Supreme Court. A 26-year-old young man among six persons receiving keys to their new homes yesterday. Travis Mott, one of six persons receiving keys to his home in the Pinecrest subdivision. Mott saying that he was determined to realize his dream of home ownership and worked hard as a young man, joining his father in the construction business right out of high school, eventually moving on to supervisor in a security company. Mott said it was only after searching the various banks that the Bahamas Mortgage Corporation presented the opportunity during a showcase for him to own a home. The Pinecrest development is a private-public partnership between Arawak Homes Limited and the government. Some 43 homes with all the finishes are being constructed in the South Beach development for just under $200,000. Housing Minister, the Honorable Jobette Colby Davis, said there is a high demand for houses. She said some 350 applications are being handled by each customer service agent. Colby Davis said some 37 homes have already been constructed in Pinecrest and 4 in Central Pines, Abaco. Several others are almost completed. And the Attorney General, the Honorable Ryan Pinder, setting the record straight that the Davis administration's draft bill to criminalize marital rape is not an attack on marriage. The Attorney General saying that, quote, just to be clear, this is by no means or fashion an attack on marriage, end quote. This coming during the one-day symposium on the Sexual Offenses Amendment Bill 2022 held at the Breezes Club yesterday. Marital rape, a burning issue. Pinder saying that if you are sexually abusing your wife in the construct of a marriage, then maybe you shouldn't be married. He said it's not fair treatment of citizens in this country. The Attorney General also saying that the bill is not a new construct, but rather a version that was being considered for more than 15 to 20 years. The marital rape issue is receiving much public attention as persons throughout the country express varying views. The amended bill, which is expected to make its way to Parliament sometime this year, seeks to repeal Section 3 of the current law by removing the words "who is not a spouse" from the definition of rape. The bill also defines consent, indecent assault, and aggravating circumstances. Questions raised from several persons on the floor of the symposium yesterday, some questioning whether the bill is to empower women and emasculate men. Concerns also raised as to how the law will protect men, boys, and husbands from fictitious rape complaints. One man in the audience expressing his disagreement with the proposed bill, saying that, quote, the bill that the government is trying to push ahead in this country is the most darkest, wickedest, demonic bill that the country will ever see, end quote. We'll take a break and be back with the weather.
Global Impact News is changing. Join our news team with Shelley Lewis, DeQuan Carroll, and Van Ferguson. Weekdays for news and traffic updates beginning at 7:08 a.m. and continuing at 8:12 a.m., 9:12 a.m., 12:50 p.m., and 7 p.m. It's Global 99.5 FM with news that really matter. Reliable. 99.5 is putting a different perspective on news.
welcome back. First, here's the weather outlook heading into the weekend. The latest news item on Tropical Storm Fiona. Residents in the southeast Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands should closely monitor the movement of Cyclone Fiona, which the National Hurricane Center is projecting to become a hurricane by early next week. Beachgoers, pedestrians, and motorists along Atlantic facing beaches, coastal roads, seawalls, and the glass window bridge should be alert for approaching southeasterly sea swells this weekend. The frontal low over the western Atlantic Ocean has a low 10% chance of development over the next 5 days as it moves east southeastward at 10 to 15 miles. And weather officials watching another system, a tropical wave over the central tropical Atlantic Ocean, has a low 20% chance of developing during the next 5 days. And the system is expected to remain that system is expected to remain disorganized due to upper level winds, preventing further development into a tropical storm. Meantime, in the general situation, the weather forecast for today and tonight, a weak frontal boundary north of the islands is creating unsettled weather across the extreme northwest Bahamas, while high pressure sits over the area. Mariners and residents in the extreme northwest Bahamas should be vigilant for waterspout and or funnel cloud activity. Beachgoers in the central and southeast Bahamas should be alert for possible rip currents along easterly beaches. Weather in the central and southeast Bahamas partly sunny, hot, and breezy, with isolated showers and thunderstorms becoming fair and warm with an isolated shower tonight. A daytime high temperature getting up to 92 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 33 degrees Celsius. The overnight low, 77 degrees Fahrenheit and 25 degrees Celsius. The public is reminded to remain hydrated and avoid prolonged sun exposure during afternoon hours as the heat index reaches 102 degrees Fahrenheit and 39 degrees Celsius. And that will do it for the news and weather to the hour. Join us again at 6:50 for details of these stories and more. For technical producer Jason Wisdom, I'm Shelley Lewis. Do have a safe and enjoyable weekend and holiday on Monday, September 19th.